Hi everyone. I am back again today. Yesterday we were talking about some of the things that the tools and tips that we could be using to help manage our mental and emotional state while we're going through this time of uncertainty. So I promised yesterday that I would come back with tools and some tips about the things that I do with my clients, but also the things that I use for myself. So, I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about not a tool that I teach, but a tool that I use for myself. In fact, last night I woke up at 2 a.m., and I started feeling a little bit anxious. Has anyone else felt like that? A little bit of unsettled anxiousness, uncertainty, like just where you're just not quite relaxing. And what I did was I used this tool that someone else taught me. Hi guys, thanks for joining. I'm so glad you're here. I hope some of the stuff I share today will be helpful. I see all of you. I'm not going to name you all, but I'll say hi after. So I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning last night, and I was feeling that little unsettledness. Now it was really cool because I was on a live, watching a live with my sister, Ange. She is an amazing practitioner, and she's really helping a lot of people right now who are in the healthcare or caring industry to understand what this reaction was all about. Because part of it had to do with some anxiety and uncertainty, but part of it also had to do with a level of motivation, a level of calling, a level of knowing that I need to put myself out there and help. And also at the same time, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I need to shut down. So there's kind of two things that this tool that I'm going to share with you today that can help with if you're feeling that anxiousness or panic. I asked last night if people were having trouble meditating and feeling safe meditating. This is a tool that I would recommend if meditating isn't your thing, if meditating is causes a little bit of anxiety or stress or any of those things. This is a tool that I think will really help you reconnect to your body so that you can, move towards doing that meditation type work, right? So this is one of the tools that I recommend to people who want to work with me before they even come in the door. Because the work that I do with people, we are actually dealing with stuff, right? And part of dealing with stuff is needing to feel safe enough to deal with the stuff. So this is one of the tools that I will recommend to people to check out. But first I want to talk a little bit about what it is that we're talking about. So yesterday I was talking to you guys about feeling triggered and anxious, and how to create that calmer state in your body. We talked about the three brains and how in trauma or in panic or when we're feeling triggered in these kind of uncertain times, that there is a disconnect between the three brains, the disconnect between your neocortex, which is here, messing up my hair, the neocortex, which is your rational brain, your reasoning brain, and how that might be kind of offline or not working as much, and especially in these times. Then there's the next part of your brain is your limbic brain. So that's the part that deals with your emotions. It's the part where your unconscious mind is in play and the belief systems that are driving us. And so you might be noticing that you or maybe other people around you are a little bit more fearful, a little bit more judgmental, not so understanding. So those are the things that could be triggered when we're in these kind of states, but also when our mind, three minds, and I call them three minds, they're not actually separate, but three parts of our mind are disconnected. And then there was the third part. The third part is the amygdala. It's also part of, like, connected to our brainstem. It's the old brain. Some people say reptilian brain. It's the part of your brain that is responsible for physical responses in your body. So it's the part that tells you how to breathe. It's also the part that gives you goosebumps. It's the part that runs that little weird anxiety, fear feeling that goes, I don't know, sometimes it comes up from my stomach, sometimes it goes up my back. But anyway, it comes like up, right? I think you guys know what that sensation is, so let it go. It's the survival response and the instinctual response. So what's happening with a lot of us is we are being put under stress and stress in a way that we have no idea what's coming for us, right? We don't know what the outcome of this situation is. And what you're focusing on is what's being created in your body at an unconscious level completely. So what I want to do is give you a way of adding a little bit more control back to yourself, right? Instead of allowing that those emotions and the uncertainties to run your body, your brain, and your unconscious systems, a little way of taking back a little bit of control. And I hope that's okay with you guys. I think it is. It really helped me last night at 2 a.m. It really did. So what I wanted to talk about was, before we go into the tool, I just want to talk a little bit about what could be happening, because there's kind of three responses here. So we're not going to talk about the healthy response, because the healthy response is you still having that rational mind connected, right? Still being able to reason and ask yourself the questions. Is this a time for me to panic? Am I taking the steps to ensure that my family is taken care of? Do I have the amount of food that I need in the cupboard? Have I planned for my kids' schooling? What will I do to bring income in? Have I put money away? And I want to let everyone know, just avoid judging yourself. Those are the kinds of questions that we ask. And if you're asking those questions of yourself, your rational mind is still working. So congratulations to all of you. I think most of you, all the people I've talked to, your rational mind still is in line. There is still an urge, though, to to go into this immediate response, right? So there's the space between stimulus, which is what's happening now, and response. And in that middle space is choice. So who I'm talking to is the people who feel they don't have a choice or haven't recognized they have a choice. And the tool we're going to use today is going to give you back a little bit of choice by reconnecting you in a physical way. Okay. So before we get to that, I just want to mention that there are two ways that we become disconnected from our body and our mind. And the first one is a way of escapism. Okay. Where we almost leave our body. We disconnect from our body, from the feelings in our body. And this often happens when we start trauma, and we do this as a protection mechanism, because the situation that you're dealing with in the moment is kind of too hot to handle, right? So if anyone's feeling like an urge to disconnect, part of that might be is because you don't have any answers, right? We might not have any answers right now. And so the urge is to disconnect. And what I mean by disconnect is sometimes we go to looking for answers from somewhere else. So you might be going and relying heavily on your religion. You might be relying heavily on spiritual or energetic methods. And I want to be really clear, it's okay. It's okay. It's part of the healing process. It's part of managing what you're doing is to looking for answers outside of yourself. The only worry I have is if you stayed there for a while. If you stay there for a long time, then you're giving away the ability to resolve the problem for yourself, okay, for ourselves, right? And the cool part about being in a human body is being in a human body, right? Being in a human body. So if we're focusing on energetic solutions or spiritual solutions or religious solutions outside of ourselves, we're taking away our own ability to solve our own problems. And that I want to help. If you're willing and you guys want to do this, cool. I'm going to give you the opportunity to help restore that responsibility and that ability to take back control for yourself today. Okay. Because really the reality is we chose to be in these bodies at this time for this reason. And I know I'm talking to some of the spiritual people out there in my universe, out there in my world, the leaders, like, I know that some of you might not believe this, so if it's not for you, just ignore it. You can delete it from your mind. But we chose to be here and to lead in this moment, right? And some of you are being called. So this tool is also going to help if you're being called to step up and to help out. If you're a healthcare worker, if you are a counselor, if you are someone who's supporting other people, a parent, really, parents, you're being called to support your kids right now and to lead them through this on an emotional and mental and physical level. So this is for you, because I'm a parent too. Okay, So that's one of the things we can do. The other thing that we can do, and we talked about this a little bit more in detail yesterday, is we go really deep into our body, where the only response that we're having is in our body. And that's when we go into survival mode, when we're in fight or flight or freeze. Okay? So I want to recognize this, and I want to put this out there, because this is where most people who come to me from one of these two places. They come to me from one of these two places. And if we start going into the science about it, which I'm not going to do, you're coming to me either from hyperarousal state, hyperarousal, meaning anger, fear, panic, those kind of really high heightened emotions, or you're coming to me from a place of hypoarousal, which is burying yourself, disconnecting, isolating. Okay. And so we're coming from one of two places, one where we're doing what's called, and I don't like this term, so I'm using it because you might recognize it, spiritual bypassing. Okay. I hate the term because I want to recognize that going spiritual or going outside of yourself is part of the healing process. So I just hate the term, but anyway, that's the one that people recognize. Where you ignore your physicality or your physical body, or we're seeing people who are really stuck in their body. Like all they're feeling is flashbacks and feelings and emotions and all of that stuff. So what we're going to do today is going to help us to refocus what we're focusing on and reconnect your rational mind, your unconscious mind, your physical body. Really, it's a mind-body reconnect. Okay. So what am I talking about? You guys are all wondering, what am I talking about? I just want to say right here from the front, I am not a practitioner of this. I use this tool for myself. I recommend other people. So I'm going to go through it and show you what I do, just the basics, because that stuff is online. You can go find it for yourself. There's lots of videos. What I'm talking about is the emotional freedom technique. EFT, it's called. Some of you might have heard of it called tapping. This is a process developed and promoted by Nick Ortner. So please look him up if you want more detail about this. I'm not a practitioner, but I'm sharing with you today the tools that really help me get back into my body and feel safe in my body. And I think there's a need for that right now for some people, especially those who are wanting to do things like meditation, but don't feel safe doing it. And I think you understand what I mean by safe. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit how it's related to the work that I do, because EFT is related to the work that I do. EFT is your emotional freedom technique, focuses on the meridian points. Meridian points being energetic pathways in our body. And these pathways are what connect our mind, our body, spirit as we move, and ground. And we have these energetic pathways, scientifically valid, scientifically founded, and I'll refer to a little bit of science as well. So these are the same meridians they use in acupuncture or acupressure, and that's really related to how EFT tapping was designed. And I also use these the same meridians when we do the quantum change process. So these meridians and some of the points that we're focusing on are really deeply connected to emotions that we're feeling. So I'll let you guys know which emotions are over which of these points as we go through. And the purpose of all these processes, tapping, and what you might not know is happening in acupressure and acupuncture, and also in the quantum change process, is really helps you to reconnect energetically to create a clear pathway for not only your emotions and your energy to flow, but really for alignment, right? We're talking about alignment, okay? And really restores, so when we're talking about QCP, it actually restores your purpose, what you're here for. So if any of you are feeling that you want to do more work, you guys can connect with me. We'll talk about some of the work that I do, but really I want to just give you this tool today and offer you like solutions, right? So just a little bit of science before we get into doing a tapping session, or me sharing my tapping. You can tap long if you want. You guys can watch. I want you to go look up the videos after, because like I said, I'm not a practitioner. I'm just sharing what works for me. Okay, there's lots of comments that are being thrown in by some really intelligent and amazing leaders. So like, go ahead and read those comments when we're done. Okay, I'll go back and I'll answer them too. So tapping or emotional freedom technique, I want you to note that there's a science. Like I just explained a little bit of it, but there were some studies done at Harvard Medical School, okay, looking at brain stress and the fear response in the amygdala. So amygdala being that part of your brain that instigates the survival. It's the part that I was talking about that's related to physicality. Okay, the amygdala, or the old reptilian brain, and how that the response in the amygdala and the activation in the amygdala is actually reduced and lessened by stimulating these specific meridian points that we're going to tap on today. Okay. If you want more information, I want you to Google Dr. Dawson Church. He did a study called the Stress Project. And in that project, they taught this EFT tapping technique to war veterans. And the result of that is amazing. Okay. An average of a decrease in 63% of PTSD symptoms after 6 rounds of tapping. That means 6 of the rounds that I'll show you today. Okay. 6, that's mind blowing, right? 63% decrease of PTSD symptoms. And I want you to really let that sink in, because I know that a lot of people that I'm talking about are having those kinds of triggers happening. Okay. So this is one of the techniques I use, I recommend to my clients before they come and work with me, and that helps them to get ready to do the deeper work with me, because these are the people that I'm working with. All right, you guys ready? I'm going to have to look a little bit at my screen down here to make sure I'm giving you exactly the right points, but what I want you to remember is when we're doing tapping, intention is always key. So if you're not on the exact right point, if you're not on the exact right point, that's okay. It's always the intention. If your intention is to release stuff and you're close enough, your unconscious mind and your body knows exactly what you're trying to do. Okay, so tapping can be used for a lot of things. But because of what's going on today, I want to think about, we're gonna tap on anxiety. Okay, so whatever anxiety means to you, whatever way you might have noticed it in your body, and I want you to notice, not feel it, just notice, observe it. Whatever you might have noticed in your body, I want you to go ahead and notice where it is now. And before we start, we have to take an inventory. Okay. So I want you to think about how anxiety is showing up in your life right now, and ask yourself, go ahead and ask yourself, and you'll come up with a number between 1 and 10. 1 being not very tense, or we could even say 0. Although if anyone is out there in 0, you need to be doing a live and teaching me something. Okay, so an intensity between 0 and 10. So if you guys want to go and pop your number, your starting number in the chat, go ahead, put start, whatever your number is. So for me, I'm starting at a 6. Okay, I'm starting at a 6 today, and unconsciously that number just pops up. I'm at a 6 anxiety right now. Okay, so anyone else wants to pop their number in, that'd be really cool, because I want to see where you started and where you ended. Okay, so think about your number, pop it in the chat. So think about how anxiety is affecting your life now, rate it. Okay, and then we're going to go and I'm going to walk you guys through the tapping points first, and then we'll do it together if you want, or you can just watch me. Okay, so next thing we do after we know what our anxiety level is, we have to think of a setup statement. So the important thing with your setup statement is you need to acknowledge the problem you're dealing with. So we're talking about awareness. You'll hear me talk about awareness all the time. We can't solve a problem if we don't know it's there, right? So if you're not willing to acknowledge that you're feeling a little anxious, or that there's been some anxiety playing out in your life, or there's things going on, uncertainty, then maybe you want to save this and come back. Okay. So first thing we have to do is we have to acknowledge what the problem is. So the beginning of our statement will be, even though I feel this anxiety, I'm making it really general for everyone. Even though I feel this anxiety, then we talk about how we want to feel about ourselves. What do you want to move to, right? Because the point is to move the emotions out of our body and to release the things that are getting stuck, right? That's what all this energetic work is about, and the reconnection. Okay, so even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Does that sound good? That's a really good way to start. That's what his company, they recommend that you start with if we're talking about anxiety. So we're going to do that one. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. So the next step is I'm going to show you guys where the points are, because you need to know. The very first point, so what we usually do is I state that statement 3 times, and then I start tapping. So here is our first point, the karate chop point. It is on right here on your hand. I think everyone can see. You guys got to see the setup I had to do. So my phone, so you can see my phone. I got hands free. So here's on your phone. And when we're tapping on our hand, it's 4 fingers like this, just gently, kind of like you're tapping on like a melon to see if it's ripe. Okay. So you're going to tap there 5 to 7 times. Okay. The next point that we're going to tap on, and I'm just checking to make sure. Ooh, hold on, guys. Did I make sure I got my thing? Okay. Then we're going to go to our eyebrow point. So your eyebrow point is either here or here. Good thing I did my eyebrows. Here or here. And you can use 2 fingers, and you're going to tap 5 to 7 times here. Thank you for the hearts, whoever did that. Okay. The next point is right beside your eye. There's a hard part right here. Right, not on your eyeball, not on your temple, like in the middle. There's your eye socket right there. Okay. The next point is right directly underneath your eye. Again, on the top of your cheekbone, right here. And some of these points have really cool things. So if we go back, I got to tell you guys what emotions you're releasing up here. So your crown chakra, this is your crown chakra, if you didn't know, right at the center of your head. The emotions connected here that are attached to here are grace, connection, being present, and faith. Okay, so when you're tapping up here, you're kind of creating those emotions in your head, right? You're bringing those emotions into your body. I'm only going to tell you the positive stuff, right? You can imagine what the negative stuff releasing is, right? I don't install negative stuff. Okay, I don't have any emotions for these ones here, but when we go here, this one here is one of the points we use with quantum change process. Hold on. And this one is the governing vessel alarm point, okay? So governing vessel alarm point is related to the emotions of freedom, integrity, and discernment, right? So it's choice, right? Being able to see choice again. So that's here. The next one here is on your chin, so that we'll tap here next. And that is also another meridian point that I use with QCP. And this one is called the conception vessel alarm point. It's kind of like in this little dip right behind this, between your chin. Yes, you guys evaluating my face. This is like very open and brave of me of doing this. I like feel really weird. Anyway, everyone look at my chin. Right here is another one. And those are emotions associated with the governing vessel. Governing vessel is, sorry, I'm getting wrong. Conception vessel. Conception vessel are safety, nurturing, another choice here, and discernment. Oh, guys, I mixed them up. Sorry. This one here is about freedom, integrity, and discipline. Freedom, integrity, discipline. I'll post them after so you guys know. Okay. And then we go down to our collarbone. Okay. So you got your collarbone here. Hopefully you guys can see. And then out, you've got 2 points. So you can tap one, you can tap both, you can tap, some people do this. You're tapping on your collarbone. Okay. But what I want you to really recognize is that right in between your collarbone, right here is your thymus gland. And so when you're tapping here, that tapping is reverberating towards your thymus gland. Your thymus gland is like huge. It's the point that's associated with QCP with your life force energy. Okay. And it's the emotions there are harmony, love, respect, courage, hope, and trust. And I'm getting teary because that's what I stand for. Those are like my biggest values. I am like pure thymus gland, also known as your upper fourth or your upper heart chakra. Okay. Whew. Anyway, the next point underneath that, thank you for the hearts. I know I'm not just being, I'm at least being vulnerable in a good way. The next one is hard to see. It's right here under your underarm. So if you're wearing a bra, it's on your bra band, like directly under your underarm. If you're not wearing a bra, imagine you are. Laugh a little bit if you're not someone who would ever wear a bra, but it's right here. Okay, that one's hard to do. Okay, so those are the points. So we start with your hand, and then we move through the points, and we end at your head. Okay, cool. I see Ange is posting the words in there for me. Thanks, Ange. All right, so you guys ready to go and run a couple of sessions with me? That's okay. I messed them up too, Ange. We can go correct them. Delete your comment after, and then we can fill them back in. Okay, so do you guys want to do that? I see lots of hearts. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm just going to go. I want to click. I have a little picture here. So yeah, there. I want to make sure I have my picture up so I can see. All right, hold on one second, guys. All right, so let's remember. You can say it with me. You can think it in your head. Whatever we're going to do, I want you to think that setup statement if you're doing this with me. If not, again, I'll be your little entertainment for today. Okay, so we're going to say it 3 times. Take a deep breath, and then we'll start. And as we go, I'm going to shorten the statement so that we start to focus on what we really want. Okay? Okay, take a deep breath. Okay, I'm going to hold it so you guys can say, even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, everyone take a deep breath. This anxiety. Oh wait, sorry, wrong one. This anxiety. Feeling this anxiety. Allowing the anxiety to move around. The anxiety's moving. Even though I feel this anxiety, I move the anxiety so that I deeply and completely accept myself. Deeply and completely accepting myself. Collarbone. Deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Underarm. Deeply and completely accepting myself now. Deeply and completely. Okay, and back to your head. Even though I feel this, I deeply and completely accept myself. And take a deep breath. If you feel better, give me a heart. If you need to do another round, give me a thumbs up. Come on, guys. I see some thumbs up. You probably will need another round. Hearts, good. Okay. Maybe you need both. Maybe we feel better, but we want to keep going. Do it again. All right. Guys, ready? Take a deep breath. Let's say it again. Remember, chopping hand. Say it with me if you can remember it. If not, I'll say it for you. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, moving to your eyebrow. Even though I'm feeling anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling it, I deeply and completely accept myself. I might be feeling it, but I accept myself completely. Accepting myself for exactly as I am. However I'm feeling right now, it's okay. Because I'm accepting myself. Deeply and completely accepting myself. So deeply and completely. Armpit. Deeply and completely accepting myself now. Letting go. Releasing the anxiety. And deeply and completely accepting myself. Good. Take a deep breath. Okay. You guys know, hearts for feeling better. Thumbs for one more. Go. Okay, I got a heart. Heart. Do you want to do one more? I think we should do one more. I always like to do things in threes. Anyone else? Okay, I see some thumbs. Cool. I love doing things in threes. It's like, sort of like, you get prepared, right? Okay, I see. Oh my God, Julie. Yes, lots of tears. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, I'm glad this is working. All right, so let's do it one more time, okay? So here, oh, lots of thumbs. Whew, thanks, guys. I'm so glad I'm doing this weird thing with you. All right, so hand again. Even though I'm feeling this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. And if you want to change the words in your head to make them really positive, go ahead. Or you can just keep listening to me as I say them to you. Even though I feel this anxiety, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I might be feeling some anxiety still, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, back to your eyebrow. Feeling less, but there's still some there. Let it go. Let it go, the anxiety, deeply and completely accepting myself. Letting go the anxiety, moving it through my body, safely, gently, joyously, completely accepting myself. Allowing it to just flow out in any way it does. Tears through your feet. Deeply and completely accepting myself. Deeply and completely accepting myself in this moment now. Allowing the anxiety to move. Feeling calmer and deeply and completely accepting myself. Starting to feel calm. Deeply and completely accepting myself. Deeply and completely accepting myself. Almost like a little hug here, isn't it? Even though I might feel just a little bit now. Almost gone. Deeply and completely accepting myself. Deeply and completely. Deeply, so completely accepting myself now for exactly who I am. And take a deep breath. Okay, that's 3. Remember what I said about that study? 6 rounds? That was 3. Six rounds to reduce 63% of PTSD symptoms. So I hope you're feeling better. Okay, so that's basically it. So before you run away, I want to know what your results are. So go ahead, and if you didn't post your start, I want you to post your start, a number, and then end, a number. And it might be you're going to keep doing this on your own, because you can get down to a 1 or maybe a 0. I'm at a 2 now, so I went from a 6 to a 2. It's pretty good, right? I can't see anyone's comments. So who's still on? Ange, go post your number. I see Julie, I want to see your number. There's 10 of you on, so I should see 10 numbers. Guys, come on, play along. Teresa, you're at a 3. Okay, cool. 7 to 5. Okay, good. Paula, maybe keep going. Keep going. You guys can do this. I told you I did it at 2 o'clock in the morning, like lying in bed, right? 2 o'clock in the morning, you can do that. And the cool part is, if any of you guys are out there, you're still on the front lines. If you're a grocery store and someone's yelling at you, one of those irate customers that's really just stuck in fear and uncertainty or scarcity, they're really not out there to get you. You can stand there at your groceries and do just a little bit of this. The cool part is, if you are not able to touch all your points because you're doing something, you can do that. You can just touch one. You might do this if you really want to get your passion going. I do it all the time, or right here on your thymus gland. Yeah, cool. Cool. So I see 6 to a 2, really big release. Julie, I'm so happy. You always do things like go big or go home. Rena, 3 to 1. Oh my God, Rena, you're so peaceful. John's down. Shelly likes this. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. So this one's not one I teach. I mean, I can show you what I do. But there are, you can get trained in this. You can just use it as a resource for yourself. Share it with your kids. This one's really good for kids. It's really good for your kids if they're feeling a little anxious. You can explain it to them, or you can just do it with them. Jump in and help them do it. And again, what we're doing is reconnecting your rational brain to your unconscious. So connecting your rational brain to your emotions and your belief systems, and then to your physical body, so that it's all realigned completely and working together, right? Because a lot of times they're not working together, especially when we're under this kind of stress. So if anyone, I want you guys to go ahead and do that. Practice this for a couple of days. And if you really want to go big or go home, you really want to play hard, you really want to see some change, I'm going to suggest you go ahead and journal. Journal a little bit about when you're feeling emotions. And this works for other things than anxiety. We just did anxiety because it's what most people are starting to feel. Yeah, Jessica Ortner's too. I don't know how they're related, but they are. She is actually a really good teacher. I've watched her videos. So thanks for sharing that, Paula. So go ahead and journal. Okay, so take the next 3 days and practice this when you need it. Any emotion that comes up, or any of the emotions you don't want to have. So if it's anxiety, it could be fear, it could be sadness, it could be disconnect, it could be anything that we've talked about that you don't want to sit in. Bye, Teresa. Go ahead and journal about it. And if you really want to do some deep work, write your journal for 3 days. Just kind of like write down what showed up, what you started with tapping, where did you end up, what emotions, what was going on when you did it, and send me your journal after 3 days. Because anyone who might want to do some further work, hey guys, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm sharing this stuff, but I'd really like to actually help you. So if anyone wants to take this further, you want more of a release, you find that you're ready now to start doing some of the work while you're off work or whatever with me, I want you to send me the journal, okay? So write your journal for 3 days, send me the journal, and then we'll get on a call and figure out how I can help. One of the amazing things that we can do online, I've been doing it online for several years, is called timeline therapy. And timeline therapy is the most amazing way to release those negative emotions. It's been used with PTSD sufferers as well, and I find amazing results with clients and with myself. So I want to put that out there that, you know, these are tools that I'm sharing with you. I do a lot more. This is kind of the stuff that I can do on a general basis to share with all of you. So thanks so much for jumping on. Save this. You can use it again. You can fast forward to the tapping part and do it with me again tomorrow and the next day or whatever, and send me your journals, okay? So, but I need to see 3 days because I need to see that you're doing your work. Because I only work with people who are doing their work. Okay, so thanks so much for letting me share with you guys. I will be back on doing some more tools. Actually, Angela, Dr. Angela Martin King, and I are going to do a live tomorrow. We're going to do a conversational live about some tools and techniques. So, you know, look for that. If you're friends with her or you're friends with me, come on. It's probably, I think she said 10:30 tomorrow morning. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. So thanks so much, guys. Thanks for joining. Share this with your friends, share it with your kids. And if you need more information, you're really interested in tapping, don't ask me. Go and look up the Ortners, or the tapping solution, and you'll find a lot more resources and some of those studies that I talked about. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.